Let me share with you something I've learned after many years of building. Innovation ain't comfortable. If it were, it wouldn't be innovation, it would just be routine. You see, comfort likes familiar. Innovation lives in the unfamiliar. Comfort says, we've always done it this way. Innovation quietly asks, what if there's a better way? Now, don't misunderstand me. There's nothing wrong with experience. Experience is one of life's greatest teachers, but experience can become a prison if we stop letting it learn. I've met people who had 30 years of experience, and I've met people who had 1 year of experience repeated 30 times. There's a difference. The first person kept learning, the second person stopped. Innovation requires something that many people struggle with: humility. The humility to say, I might not have the best answer. The humility to listen. The humility to experiment. The humility to fail. Because let's be honest, real innovation usually looks messy. The first prototype rarely works. The first draft isn't the final draft. The first attempt often teaches more than it accomplishes. That's true whether you're designing a machine, building a business, learning an instrument, or simply trying to become a better person. Growth feels awkward because you're stretching beyond what you already know. Construction taught me this lesson over and over again. Every project eventually reaches a point where the original plan meets reality. Something unexpected appears. The drawings require revision. The sequence changes. The weather refuses to cooperate. That's not failure, that's building. And life works the same way. The people who adapt keep moving. The people who refuse to adapt eventually become frustrated by a world that refuses to stand still. You know, I sometimes think fear disguises itself as certainty. We say, that'll never work. We've already tried that. That's impossible. Maybe. But sometimes those words simply protect us from the discomfort of trying something new. Here's something I've noticed about the greatest builders I've ever known. They weren't fearless. They simply decided that learning was more important than protecting their pride. They were willing to look inexperienced for a while because they understood something extraordinary. Every expert spends part of their life looking like a beginner. That's the price of growth. Now, innovation doesn't mean changing everything. Sometimes the wisest decision is to preserve what already works. Remember, we've already talked about that throughout this section. Innovation isn't change for the sake of change. It's improvement with purpose. And purposeful improvement requires discernment, the courage to change what should change, and the wisdom to preserve what should remain. That's a balance every leader must learn. Here's another truth: innovation is rarely a solo journey. Some of the greatest breakthroughs happen when different minds come together around the same problem. One person contributes experience, another brings fresh eyes. Someone asks the unexpected question. Together, they discover what none of them could have seen alone. That's why teams matter. That's why mentors matter. That's why conversation matters. Innovation often begins where humility meets collaboration. So if you're feeling uncomfortable because you're learning something new, take heart. You're probably growing. If your ideas are being challenged, you're probably thinking. If you're stretching beyond what feels easy, you're probably becoming. Don't run from that feeling, lean into it, because comfort preserves yesterday. Innovation builds tomorrow, and tomorrow has always belonged to those willing to learn what they did not know yesterday. So keep asking, keep listening, keep experimenting, keep improving, because innovation isn't comfortable, but neither is standing still while the world moves on. And every meaningful step forward has always required someone willing to leave the comfort of familiar ground. I'm Bubba, and this is nothing new under the sun. All right, boys and girls, that's my thoughts on the subject. I appreciate you stopping by, and I appreciate you watching. Make sure that you give me the thumbs up down below to encourage me to make more videos of this type. Also, subscribe to the channel where you'll find additional videos of this nature, and you'll be notified of new releases. Make sure that you share this video with associates and coworkers and comment on the content of this video. And until we see each other again, as always, have a grateful day, and I'll see you next time.